You know that dream so many of us have, financial freedom, building something that's truly ours. But that dream often just stops. It hits a brick wall with this huge, paralyzing question: where do you even start? Well, in this explainer, we are going to unpack a business blueprint that pretty much flips all the usual advice on its head. All right, let's just jump right into this, because this one idea might honestly change everything for you. We're always told to succeed, you've got to sell to the masses, right? Make something cheap and easy that everyone can buy. But what if I told you that's actually setting you up for the hardest possible journey? So you've got two paths in front of you. There's the common path, high volume. You're selling a cheap product, which means you have to find thousands and thousands of people. Then there's the strategic path, the one we're diving into today. And it's the total opposite. It's about selling a high-value solution to just a handful of clients. And trust me, it is way easier than you think. And this is where most beginners get stuck. It's what I call the pricing trap. We just assume it's easier to get someone to spend $10 than 10,000. And yeah, for one single person, that's true. But when you're building a business, that kind of thinking is a total trap. Okay, let's make this super tangible. Let's say your goal is to make your first $100,000 in revenue. You've got two very, very different ways to get there. So path number one, you're selling a $10 product. To hit that $100,000 goal, you need to find, convince, and sell to 10,000 individual customers. Just think about the sheer amount of marketing and customer support that requires. It's huge. But now, look at path two. You offer a $10,000 service. To hit the exact same goal, you only need 10 clients. 10. The entire game just shifts from a game of volume to a game of value. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine that $100,000 goal is a giant swimming pool you need to fill up. Selling $10 products, that's like trying to fill that pool with a teaspoon. I mean, sure, each scoop is tiny and easy, but you're going to be there forever. Selling a $10,000 service, well, that's like grabbing a fire hose. It's a much bigger, more focused effort up front, but that pool fills up unbelievably fast. And this chart, it shows you exactly what I'm talking about. The hardest part of any new business isn't getting someone to part with $10. It's getting their attention in the first place. Finding and converting 10,000 people is just exponentially harder than finding 10. For a beginner without a massive audience, the effort for the low price model is just insane. So where's the magic number? Well, it turns out there's this sweet spot. We're talking about offers priced somewhere between $2,000 and $20,000. A price in this range lets you build a real, six-figure business with a totally manageable number of clients. Maybe just 5 to 50 clients a year. You don't need to be a marketing guru overnight. All right, so a high-ticket price sounds great. But what in the world are you actually selling for that kind of money? This brings us to the next key piece of the puzzle, the service shortcut. Because for beginners, services are a much, much easier way to go than products. I mean, think about it. If you want to start a product business, you're often looking at huge startup costs. Inventory, manufacturing, shipping, all that stuff. It can take a really long time to turn a profit. But a service business? The startup costs are practically zero. You're just monetizing your skills and your time. That means you can find your first paying client and be profitable so much faster. Now, not all services are created equal. You've kind of got this spectrum of value. At the very bottom, there's do-it-yourself. Think of an online course. You're selling information. In the middle, you have done with you. That's like coaching or consulting where you're guiding the client. But at the very top, that's where the real value is. And that is done for you. This is where you actually perform the service and deliver a complete result. You're not selling information anymore, you're selling implementation. You are saving the client their single most valuable asset, their time. And people will pay a huge premium for that. Okay, let's pull all these threads together now. We've talked about why high-ticket pricing is easier and why services are the best way to get there. So now let's build the actual blueprint for a business that's built to be easy, not hard. So here it is. This is the entire strategy in a nutshell. It's a done-for-you service priced in that $2,000 to $20,000 sweet spot that solves one specific, really painful problem for a very clear type of customer. That's your target. And you want to know the best part? You don't have to be famous. You don't need 100,000 followers on social media. You just need to be good at solving one specific problem, and then find the handful of people who are desperately looking for that exact solution. It's all about precision, not popularity. Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question. I can almost hear you thinking, this is great, but what problem do I solve?
Well, we can actually break this down into a really simple 3-part framework to help you find that perfect idea.
Step 1, and this is non-negotiable, who has the money? I mean, to sell a high-ticket service, you have to solve a problem for someone who can actually afford to pay for it. And this usually means you're focusing on other businesses or maybe on wealthy individuals, not the general public.
Step 2, what is their pain? And listen, we're not talking about a little annoyance here. You are looking for a hair on fire problem. Something that is urgent, something that is costing them serious money or time every single day it isn't fixed. The more painful the problem, the more they will happily pay to make it go away. And finally, step 3. This is the clincher. How does your solution pay for itself? The absolute easiest high-value services to sell are the ones that have a clear return on investment. If you can walk into a business and show them how your $10,000 service is going to help them make an extra $50,000 or save $50,000, well, the decision becomes a total no-brainer. So if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this right here. The secret to an easy business isn't about having a better product, it's about finding a more valuable problem. As soon as you find a really painful problem for people with money, the business practically builds itself. So that leaves us with one final question, and this one is for you to really think about. Look at your skills, your past experiences, your unique point of view. What painful, expensive problem do you see out there in the world that maybe everyone else is overlooking? Because the answer to that question might just be your first high-value business.